She had just turned 19 when her world collapsed under the weight of power and money. Layla was supposed to be celebrating her birthday with her university friends, dreaming about a future where she would become a fashion designer, where life would be colorful and full of opportunities. Instead, her father, drowning in business debts, decided her future for her. He accepted a proposal from a man 30 years older, a billionaire named Zayden Albrecht, a tycoon whose name alone could open doors or destroy lives. The engagement announcement was made before she understood what was happening. Her mother cried silently while her father kept repeating that this was the only way to save their family. Layla stood frozen, feeling like a possession being traded. She thought she would faint, but no, she stayed conscious through every moment of the horrifying reality that unfolded. The wedding took place 2 weeks later. A glamorous event, dripping in gold and diamonds, cameras flashing as if it were a celebration. People whispered about the stunning young bride and the powerful groom. They didn't see how her hands trembled beneath her embroidered veil. They didn't hear her rapid heartbeat or feel the terror that seeped into her bones. Zayden stood tall and calm, with sharp gray eyes and a presence so intimidating that no one dared breathe too loudly near him. He had salt and pepper hair, a perfectly tailored suit, and an expression that gave away nothing. He made no romantic gestures, no attempt to comfort her. To him, this marriage was a transaction, something he wanted, and so he bought. When the ceremony ended, the world clapped. Layla felt like she was drowning. That night, she was escorted by maids to his mansion, a cold, grand fortress. Marble floors stretched like endless pathways beneath crystal chandeliers. Guards were positioned everywhere. A gilded cage, she thought. Beautiful but suffocating. Her new husband awaited her in the master bedroom. She couldn't breathe as she stepped inside. Her wedding dress felt like chains wrapped around her body. Zayden looked at her for a long moment, assessing her as if she were something fragile and breakable. Strangely, he didn't move closer. He spoke in a steady, deep voice. "You're terrified." Layla didn't respond. She didn't trust her voice not to shake. "I know why your father agreed to this marriage," he continued. "He owes me millions. His mistakes shouldn't have become your punishment." Her eyes darted upward in confusion. He wasn't supposed to talk like this. He wasn't supposed to sound guilty. "You think I forced this," he added, noticing her tension. "But if I hadn't stepped in, your father would be in prison. Your family would be homeless. You would have nothing. I didn't want you ruined because of him." Lila's heart pounded. She didn't know whether to believe him. "Still," he said quietly, "I won't touch you." Her breath caught. For a moment, she thought she heard him wrong. But he stepped back, keeping distance between them. "I know what your family told you," he said. "That I would demand my rights as a husband. That tonight would be painful. That you must obey. But I'm not here to claim anything you're not ready to give." The ground beneath her seemed to shift. She stared at him, wide-eyed. "You are legally my wife," he continued. "But you are not mine to use." He nodded toward a separate door. "You'll have your own room. You'll continue your studies. You'll design whatever you want. I will fund it. I want you to have a life you choose." Every word he spoke seemed unbelievable, like a dream, but she didn't know whether to trust dreams anymore. "Why me?" she finally whispered, her voice trembling. Zayden sighed, a rare crack in his composed exterior. "Because you reminded me of someone I once failed to protect. My younger sister. She was forced into a marriage she didn't want. I watched helplessly until the day she escaped through death." The pain in his eyes was real, deep and ancient. "I vowed no one under my care would suffer the same fate," he said. "So you will live here free from harm. Not as a prisoner. And when the debt is paid, if you want a divorce, I'll sign." She felt tears rise, not of fear this time, but relief. "You're safe, Layla," he said softly. "I promise you that." The rest of the night was quiet. He called for dinner but didn't make her stay when she barely ate. He insisted she rest, and before leaving the room, he paused at the door. "One more thing," he said, turning back. "Never let anyone silence you. Not even me." Then he left, closing the door gently behind him. Layla stood in the middle of the room, overwhelmed. Everything she thought she knew, all the terror she prepared herself for, vanished like smoke. The billionaire she feared wasn't a monster. He was a broken man trying to fix a world that had once broken him. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Layla continued studying, attending university with discreet protection. She started designing again. Her sketches filled notebooks with vibrant ideas, hopes reborn through art. Zayden never restricted her. When he did speak to her, He was respectful, almost distant, a gentleman wrapped in mystery. Sometimes she caught him watching her, not with hunger, but admiration, like he saw strength in her she didn't know existed. And without realizing it, she began to admire him too. The way he treated his staff, his quiet generosity, his loyalty to those he cared about. The way he healed without demanding praise. She found herself wanting to know him. The man behind the wall of power. One evening, months after their wedding, she approached him in his study. He looked surprised to see her there voluntarily. "Zayden," she said softly. "The debt, is it paid?" He nodded, completely. "And the divorce?" she asked, heart burning with unspoken confusion. "If you want it," he said, voice steady but eyes aching. She stepped closer, her voice barely a whisper. "What if, I don't?" For the first time, his composure cracked. Shock flickered across his features, followed by a hesitant hope. "Layla," he breathed, as though afraid the moment would vanish if he spoke too loudly. She reached out and gently took his hand, the first touch she ever initiated. His senses seemed to tremble through his fingers. "I want to stay," she said. "Not because I'm forced, but because my heart chooses you." Slowly, cautiously, Zayden lifted her hand and pressed a soft kiss to her knuckles, a silent vow. That night, something new happened between them. Not fear, not obligation, but love, growing from kindness, trust, and the courage to heal. She was just 19, he was 49, yet together, they found a future neither ever expected, one built not from a forced marriage, but from a choice that changed both of their lives forever.